Good morning and Assalamu alaikum. Uh, Thank you for inviting me for this important event. My topic title is Real-Time Monitoring of Foot and Mouth Disease in Africa, Employing Wireless Sensor Network. Now onward, I will be using the word of FMD. I hope you will understand it. Before we further go in detail of foot and mouth, let me give you a little bit history of foot and mouth disease. For the first time in Southern Africa, it was discovered somewhere in 1892, and later it became an epidemic. Uh, According to the few scientists, in the era of 1896 up to 1905 in Southern Africa, so it was a biggest outbreak, and they consider it as one of the pandemic or epidemic. The country that where I'm living, his name is Botswana. Uh, in 1931, in Botswana, the FMD outbreak was there, and then it started in every decade onward 1931. In the period of 1971 up to 1980, it's said to have the largest FMD outbreak in the southern Africa region. And the reason behind that was different reason. One was political reason due to some unrest between the Angola and Mozambique. So it was difficult for these two countries to stop or literally control this FMD, which led to its spread to the neighboring countries. So this was a general history of FMD. Now let us move on to the transmission and pathogenesis of foot and mouth disease. Okay, the picture that you are seeing is taken by myself. This is here we call it game. Basically, these are the wild animals. You will find it in some of the desert or some of the forest in southern part of Africa. Basically, FMD virus can be carried by most secretion and excretion of infected animals. Such secretion and excretion include saliva, exhaled air, semen, milk, feces, and urine. Okay. Apart from that, uh, the vessels vulnerable to FMD also produce fluid that may carry the FMD virus. Such may be antibiotic fluid or fetuses due to abortion in sheep, particularly in sheep. FMD virus is said to have its routes into animal through inhalation, ingestion, skin abrasion or bruises, or mucous membrane. Few of the scientists also discovered that FMD virus survive under different conditions. For instance, in cold weather, it may live up to 1 year. Uh, this virus is also supported by organic matter and sunlight with a life duration up to 3 months. And it has been found, the scientists found that meat and milk can also support foot and mouth disease for long time. Now we discuss about the transmission from animal body, but there are some mechanical vectors, okay, which is very common in Africa because Africa is basically a tourist country, particularly at the time when there is summer in the rest of the world. In southern Africa, we have winter. Right now that I'm talking to you, we have a winter season. So this winter season is a very good season, particularly for the tourism point of view. So according to the scientists, there are some mechanical vectors. The mechanical vectors such as human being, vehicles, animal that add the transmission of the disease. Okay, on human being, the virus may be carried out on the skin or clothes, and as human being moves, this is how spread FMD virus. So if you can see it, it is almost similar to the way of spreading is similar to like a coronavirus that at the moment that we are facing. Okay. So the scientists also stated that from the survey and from the review that human can carry the FMD virus through a nasal passage for up to 28 hours. Okay, and this virus can be carried by vehicles as they move from one place to another place. Uh, there is another uh, parameters. The scientists found that is water. The FMD virus can also spread over water to long distance, up to 250 kilometers. Now, what are the signs and symptoms of foot and mouth disease? The first one is very clear: high-grade fever. Okay, high-grade fever, blisters in the mouth, feet, and sometimes the teeth. Okay, also the production. There is a reduction in the production of milk. You will see some loss of weight, and also the loss of appetite, frothing of mouth and lameness. These are the few indication or sign or symptoms that you can easily see among the animals. Okay. Now the important point here is the incubation period. That how long is the incubation period? So it's depend on the strain or it's depend on the virus. Okay, it start from 2 up to 11 days. So the incubation period is dependent on the virus strain and the dose. Okay, then during the incubation period that you can see that what are the symptoms that will be developed. The infected cow develops high grade fever. Okay, vessels develop in the tongue, and then the conura band and heels of the feet, and on the mammary glands of female cattle, sheep, goat, etc. So these are the few symptoms that you can see it. Now it's the time come for the what are the methods to control this foot and mouth disease. Okay, I will be talking to you first some conventional method and then the system that we design to monitor this kind of disease. Basically, usually we use uh, fences. Uh, the fences are erected to control the movement of animals uh, from one zone to another zone. This is also to prevent wild animals from reaching parameters which are meant for livestock rearing and vice versa. Okay, so if you see the shape and the size of buffalo, uh, these animals being one of I can say that the largest carrier of FMD. Okay, so when they carry this FMD into cattle region, it damages normally the conduit fences. For them, the fences is nothing. Due to such reason, such as criminal activities and wild animal damages. Uh, the another thing that we can see that these fences are damaged apart from the buffalo, elephant. For elephant, when they migrate, they easily destroy these fences. And particularly, I'm talking from Africa point of view, these fences are enough for human being, but for elephant or big uh, animal just like a buffalo, for them these are very small things. They can easily cross it. Uh, a vaccine, to be effective on a disease, it must contain the virus strain of the disease for which the vaccination is being done for. However, there are further subclasses of viruses within the seventh strain of FMD. Vaccine may not be able to cover all of them, that is for sure. A few virus strains resulting from mutation. This means that a specific vaccine must be produced for each and every FMD vaccination zone depending on the virus strain. Uh, there are some chemicals used to kill the FMD virus as a disinfection. Uh, they mentioned the use of household bleach, mostly at a concentration of 3%, to disinfect the premises that are suspected to have been infected. However, uh, the scientists found a lot of disadvantages of this chemical as not being suitable for equipment and footpath, because we don't want apart from disinfection, we don't want to affect the other things as well. Now this is very interesting part. Okay, this is the elimination of infected cattle through killing. It is very common and we call it culling. So again, I'm saying that this is the elimination of infected cattle through killing. The carcasses are then incinerated, mostly in a pit, to reduce the virus spread. However, the culling method may result in uninfected cattle being killed, leading to unnecessary losses. Because when they want to kill, they have to kill each and every animals present in their cattle post. So the drawback of the methods that I was talking to you, the conventional method, are that FMD is detected at advanced stages. You understand? Because if you can see in these methods, the FMD was detected at advanced stages when little can be done to treat the disease, and possibly when the spread has gone too far due to the late detection. Now, what is our system, that the system that we design to monitor in early stage? Now you can see this one is the block diagram, and another you can see the prototype that we design. Okay, in the prototype you can see also the solar, because particularly in Africa, in remote areas, we are having the issue of electricity, so we have to depend on the solar. So a special wearable item is designed and the sensor nodes incorporated into it. Okay, and then the wearable item is placed around the neck and the head area. So initially we use 4 sensor. Okay, to check the temperature we use the body temperature sensor. Then we use the piezoelectric thin film sensor, is mounted on the jaw uh, to detect the chewing. Then for the to sense the movement we use an accelerometer. Then to know the location we use the GPS module. Okay, and then these sensors, they send a data to a centralized sensor. Okay, we have a gateway, the reference node. So it collect the data from the reference from these sensors, and then the this central node send the data using the cloud to the concerned department or to the concerned person. And let's say, assume that you do not have internet, you do not have access, you can directly retrieve the data from the central node using your laptop or any other gadget. Now this is very interesting. You can see a prototype. Okay, uh, that we have a prototype here, a model. Then you can see some circuit. Now from the prototype, before I explain to you, here you can see in the picture the cow with the some tag. Okay, ear tag. That ear tag is RFID tag. So basically we try to take advantage of this RF tag. Okay, what we have done, the carrel in question has 3 gates. The carrel, for time being, you can consider this model. So one gate is for the exit if cattle uh, is going into the pasture for grazing grass. Okay, Then one is for the cattle to enter to carol from the pasture. So in the morning they go to the pasture for grazing. In the evening they are coming back uh, back to the carol. And then there is another gate, third gate. We call it a quarantine. Okay, so I'll explain you that how this thing is going to be operating. Now, at the entry gate, what we have done, we mounted a structure, and the structure has equipment for checking the heat signature and weight of the cow. So what will be happening in the morning when the cow is going for a grazing, we are using that particular bridge. Okay, the cow will be on the bridge, and the temperature and the weight of the cow will be checked, and it will be monitored using the ear tag for each animals. And the same process will be repeated in the evening as well. In case if the signature of temperature has been detected, there is a mechanical system that allow the cow to move to the normal carol or to the quarantine, depending on the foot and mouth disease status, or depending on the temperature of that particular cow. So the moment the system detect any infection, there will be an alarm and also the red light, and then the caretaker will come and manually rotate the bridge toward either to the quarantine side or to the normal side. So this is very effective and very interesting system. Now in the picture you can see that there is a ditch of water, and then you can see there is a car coming. So in southern Africa, and particularly the country that I'm living, uh, in Botswana, the disinfection is a widely used method of foot and mouth disease at a veterinary checkpoints. So we have different checkpoints where the disinfection is used. Okay, so when you are leaving an area which is already known for foot and mouth disease, people are supposed to walk over a mat treated with a disinfectant. Okay, if you have extra pair of shoes, you are supposed to step on the mat, and also put those extra pair of shoes also to disinfect your shoes. Then the vehicle that you can see the water must pass through a ditch filled with a disinfectant so as to kill a probable virus that is sitting on the wheels. So this method of FMD control as practiced in Botswana, but there are some, it leaves some blind spot for the spread of foot and mouth disease. Uh, the virus can be carried by the human on clothes, skin, and maybe, I mean, the tourists, they may have some extra pair of shoes they forget in the car, or their camping gear. There are so many other things. So there is no disinfecting of the FMD on the foot and mouth and skin. At times, people may leave the extra shoes inside the vehicles, which means that those shoes may be carrying foot and mouth disease, just pass without being disinfected. Also, the vehicle may not carry the virus only on the wheel, but also on the other part of the vehicle. So these were the few things that we noted down. Then what we suggested in the previous model, you saw that we designed a gate. We designed a gate that each and every vehicle has to go through that gate, and that gate is coupled with some advanced biosensors. So that sensor completely sense or screen the vehicle thoroughly. In case of any contamination, any virus, or any detection, that vehicle will be sorted out and will be thoroughly screened again. Uh, Another one of the biggest challenge that we last time we discussed, that water is also one of the source. So one way in which the FMD was transmitted that we discussed is water. So photon might can find its way into a cow body by ingestion. So we need a watering system in place to allow each cow that the water can be separated So multiple water trough are positioned. Those are the suggestions that after our survey, after our study, we suggested that multiple water trough should be positioned specifically in the cattle depending on the number of cows to be served. And along with that, you can see the circuit here. We also design a small filtering system based on the solar panel, which will not only circulate the water, but it will filter the water also for the kettles. Um, Now, let me discuss my other ongoing projects. I hope, that those who are interested, they can join me. Apart from that, we are also working on monitoring drinking water quality using wireless sensor network. We are just using four sensors in the elevated tank. We immerse it. Those four sensors collect the data, and using the cloud, they send to the concerned department. So previously, what was happening? The person has to go to the to the tank, collect the samples, come back to the lab, and then process it. So it was very cumbersome and also time consuming. So in this system that our system that we are designing in our prototype, the four sensors will collect the data. Then in the cloud, it will do the analysis, and the concerned department will get the ready-made data. Another real-time farm monitoring system. For this, we also design some app, and apart from that, we are also monitoring the pH, temperature, and some other parameter of the farm. This is very interesting project, mobile relay. Elephants, where I'm living, they have a lot of animals, more than 100,000. So in order to utilize them, there are some places where we do not have a signal, no telephone signal. So we are trying to use elephant for networking. And one of the project that I have done last time with Dr. Jafar, who is sitting here over there with you, on LTE, on mobile relay. So we are using that concept, and we for that concept we are going to use the elephant to do the cooperative communication. With this, I will say thank you to all of you, and I hope that I deliver uh, uh, in a short span of time. I try to deliver whatever I have today for you. Thank you very much.